Hello. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name's KrazeyIvan, and I'm going to be going over what I promised before. This is a video on AI upscaling software. So those who may have been familiar with my YouTube channel, I was doing a lot of DS9 upscales. It got nuked. Powers that be decided they didn't like it anymore being around. So, you know, water under the bridge and all. So what we're going to do today is do a little bit what I actually promised at the time, which is go over the steps I needed. So this is going to be video one of a few. And with this video, we're going to be detailing just the software. The reason being is if I did the whole lot, it would be hours long and, you know, nobody's got time for that. So we're going to be going over just the software. I'm going to have all the links in the video description. This will be version 1.0. The main reason being that as time advances, software is going to get more advanced. New stuff's going to be coming out. New techniques are going to be coming out. So at the time of recording, we are in the last couple of days of 2022. So this will be version 1 of this video. So let's get into it. I'm going to take you first of all to the excellent work, basically where I started, which is Joel Hruska's here, his articles. And I'm just going to be going very quickly through. Now, the reason I'm starting here is he did a hell of a lot of really good writing. I highly encourage everybody to read the links that I'll send. And this is where I started, essentially. And he has a lot of the links to some of the stuff we're going to use. So, again, this is the first article. It was from sort of summertime of 2021. A lot of the techniques and stuff have gone beyond this now, but it's a really good place. If you're interested in doing this kind of work, this is the kind of stuff you need to be spending time reading. There's a lot of really good nuggets of information in here, and I highly recommend all of these articles. So, bits I just want to sort of touch on while we go through. Why doesn't it use the term HD, Ultra HD, or 4K? It isn't. If I've learned anything in the past 16 months, upscaling can only improve detail that already exists unless you use an approach that seeks to generate new detail. Basically, he's just saying there, native DVD frames are this resolution. That's the US NTSC format. That's 37% as many pixels as a frame of 720p, so HD ready, and just over 4% of a 4K frame. Anyone who promises you a 4K version of a particular pre-HD show is basically can't deliver it, or they've done something with permission from the studios. So it's a very, very important detail to make. When you're doing this, you're not going to get super clarity, 8K, you know, 4K, 8K, perfectly glorious thing, or whatever technique. That simply doesn't exist at the moment. All it'll do is it'll make whatever's there slightly better. So if some of the seasons of that show, of this show here, and the other one that followed with Voyager, those early seasons are purely analog. They're really, really bad on the mastering, and you're not going to get much out. They're not even DVD quality. Essentially, they're VHS quality. So going from that to 4K crisp clarity ain't going to happen. So that's a very important point on his article. I just want to touch on that there. So let's get down to the software, which is what this video is about. So he has a lot of like really detailed information in here, but these are some of the things that we're going to be touching on. Now, some of these links will be out of date, so I highly encourage you to get the latest version of them. Some of them I'll link in the description. AVISynth Plus. So doesn't really mention it in here. He just mentioned the link. But we will be utilizing this for my version. What this software is used for, this is it. This is AvsPMod, which utilizes it specific AVISynth. It's just a thing where we can write scripts. I then execute it and I just check what's going on. I use it for pre-processing. So we're coming from our source. We pre-process the footage. So we call in different things that just clean it up a little bit, ready for upscaling. And I also use this for post-processing. So we've done an upscale. Some things then need to happen to it. So that's what essentially this bit of software is for. So AvsPMod, again, the links will be in the description. I got it from Andrew, tutorial here in terms of reading off. So this will be in here as well. I'll have the general link for AvsPMod. The latest, as at the time of recording this, is 2731. And Andrew here has a good little installation video that I found on this fellow's blog. It's how I essentially got into it, so I thought it was a good starting point for anyone else. And again, Joel mentions it here. Now, CC Extractor, I really don't use for the subtitles at the moment. It's something I'll probably get to. I'm on just in terms of getting the quality out at the moment. That's where we're at. DG index is important. We'll see that in a second. DVD decryptor. A lot of people will, one of the key things to get with the software, you always want to be as close to base as possible. What I mean by that is, if you have a show or anything like that, a source which is a video file, somebody's encoded it, you don't know what it's like, and you start from there, that isn't as close to the source as possible. You want to be going, if it's a Blu-ray, if it's a DVD, whatever it is, but in this case, we're mainly DVDs, pre-HD shows. You want to be getting absolute raw, straight from source as possible. Some people might want, oh, well, I know a source that has all of that, they've done all the work for me. Fine. That's on your own head, that's on your own searching ability. For me, I want my own, imagine that's a DVD. A DVD, I want that into a drive and then use the DVD decryptor to get that off. Other interesting question you're going to have to answer as well is PAL or NTSC. I live in PAL land, but I went with NTSC. The main reason being, especially on shows like, say, Voyager, their conversion method, the baked in like issues, they didn't, essentially it wasn't done properly when I went through the giant sausage machine, and some of the stuff where it's literally baked in faults. So no matter what you do, there's still some blur on some interpolation frames and things. So yeah, I want to go with, it's American show, I want to go with the actual recording source, NTSC, if you can get it. I imported mine from America, etc., etc. FFMPEG, we use this to encode the video files out. There is another one as well. I'll sometimes go through good old DaVinci here, but FFmpeg we'll get into. MKVToolNix is quite good. It's a GUI just to like slip files in, audio files, audio tracks or subtitles and things. Stackstrip, you use Stackstrip. This is how I started. I don't use that in my current processing at the moment, but it's maybe a good place to start. You'll see it just below. And then there's Topaz. And as he says here, the only paid application on that list is Video Enhance AI. Now, I believe there's still a free trial. The one thing is, on the upscaling software, I do use Video AI, and I did pay for that. We'll go have a look at its website in a second. But the other option, which we'll get into, which actually mentions in one of the articles I'll get into there, is Cupscale here, but that has some quirks which we'll go into anyway. So you'll have to answer the PAL against NTSC yourselves. I would recommend NTSC if you can do it. This here is DVD decryptor. Just obviously a couple of screen grabs. We'll go into this when we hit those videos, but essentially this is what it does. This is the couple of screen grabs from DG index. Essentially what that does is it turns out some files that we can use that are, they're essentially D2V files. If we have a look at, oh, look at that. This is just raw, straight from DVD decryptor that will be ready to go into DG index. So just to give you an idea. And then obviously this is the tool that I got started with. It's just a GUI. It's a graphical user interface on top of various bits and pieces that sit on that. Well, you can do your own research on it, but I don't use it anymore. A lot of what he's mentioning here in this article from 2021, sort of moved beyond it now. It's really a good place to get started. I highly recommend you read through all of this. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Now, if we just scoot back across, I'll leave it the software. I will link all of these articles. Really read all of them. He goes into a lot of detail on a lot of them. Some of it's really, really useful. There's another one with video Topaz here, if you're not familiar. So this shows how I essentially got started on this. I think for a number of people as well. It was like, oh, that's interesting. Somebody's actually doing that. I think I want to do that as well. So that's where I started my journey, and all credit to him. You know, that's why I'm giving him a big shout out on this in terms of his articles and just the inspiration for that. Now on this one here, this was a one from August of this year, 2022. He obviously goes in on a lot of the bits and pieces. You know, what is upscaling? What can we pre-process? Things like this. He touches on SG1 actually, comparing the upscale DVD against the official Blu-ray. The short story there is that the official Blu-ray was very hastily put together. It wasn't done properly. Anyway, this is where he also touches upon Cupscale. So again, here it mentions two clear leaders. There's Cupscale and Video AI. This is Cupscale here, to give you an idea. One of the things it's really quite good at is that you can pick or you can chain models together. So if you like a particular model, you can almost go, I want to blend it with this other model here, like have an offspring. That's really quite nice. They call it interpolate between the two models. One problem with this is it's not quite ready for prime time to do a full series, 26 episodes, 7 seasons, for instance. You also have, it's a bit janky in its interface. It's very much, you know, a free bit of thing that's been put together, kind of that. I did spot there was a successor to this. I think it's an alpha at the moment, where it's a lot more node based in its design. I will probably do touch on that in version 2 of this when we get round to that. But so I just wanted to go into Cupscale on this because he does mention it in this article, and he does the various differences in terms of Cupscale. I highly encourage you to read all of these things. He has these little video links here, which thank God are still on YouTube and they haven't annihilated them. Again, really, really nice instructions and just a very, very interesting read. I encourage you to read all of the actual bits in this. I think there's about 10 pages of information on various topics on here. There's some videos. Here's the table of contents. So there's an awful amount of really, really good information on all of these articles. So when we're talking about FFMPEG, again, all the links will be in this description. I use this. So if you can imagine our process, we take the information from said DVD, we turn that into files we can utilize. I then pre-process that information. It's then upscaled. We then post-process that, and then either I'll put it into DaVinci for further touch-ups or work, or I'll use FFmpeg here to just encode the video out. So the version I want you to get here, and you always want to keep an eye on, is the full version here. So that's FFmpeg. AvsPMod, as I mentioned before, all these will be in the video description. The latest as of the time of producing this video is 2.73. And this is essentially, it's a text editor built for AVISynth. It's a video scripting language. It's built on discontinued project. It requires AVISynth installed. Again, this is why I used Andrew's tutorial, just to sort of get you up going. And there's a whole AVISynth website for all the different plugins you can use. It is literally its own thing. But again, I didn't want to go too far in there because, again, I started here. This was sort of your step A, your step B, your step C, step D. Yeah. And that was where I started from. Got an understanding of that. Then I moved into how can I make it better? What's the improvements? So we're going to go through all that on a separate video. I just didn't want to color it too much. But in terms of the software, yep, FFMPEG, you need that. I would have this. And there's Andrew going into it. This is DaVinci. Now, DaVinci is, in my opinion, miles better than the Adobe product, simply because it's a hell of a lot more stable. I actually bought the full studio version. You don't necessarily need that. There is a full sort of free version. It has limitations, but the reason I bought the full studio version is it's a one-time purchase. There's no monthly, bill, and I get future upgrades free. It's a really good deal if you can afford it. Again, if we go into Topaz Video, okay, I believe there is so we'll go into the version 309 in a second and a few other bits and pieces on here, but this is Video AI. I believe there is a month like trial period for this, but again, it does cost money. The products are not free, and it's up to you to decide whether you actually want. I actually got it as part of, I got denoise, gigapixel, sharpen as part of the image quality or something like this. It was something like this, but that's what I actually did, and then you get like a year's upgrade. Now, on that subject, if we just load up, you'll see I've got two versions on my desktop here. So this is the as of writing. I encourage you to look at the Topaz forums on their website. All the stuff you saw on my YouTube channel was done with this version here, which is 2.6.4, which was the very latest version of version 2. The thing is, the developers have decided to completely start from scratch, therefore enabling them to reach a higher ceiling, better quality and all that. But they started out with version 3. In my opinion, 3 at the moment isn't. It has a number of bugs. You'll see them in the forums. The latest as of writing is, as I said, it's 3.0.9. There is still some issues. The interface as well. This is just, it's waiting here for a video file. I'm not going to load anything in, but actually, no, loading in. I prefer the interface to 2.6.4. It is much better in my opinion. This was a better product. It's a lot more stable. It has greater issues, but the developers have decided that, you know, for right or wrong, this is the one they're going to be going forward with. It will eventually do more. It will eventually do it better. It will do it faster. They've started from a completely clean base. I don't think it was ready for prime time, but that's my evaluation of it as at the moment. So I am in the process of using both for my products, but it is not a free product. Please beware that Cupscale is. You can get this, and again, I'll put the links in the description below. You can also go, there's a separate library where you can go, and I think there's the, as I said, the alpha. There's an alpha of the follow-up to this, which is node-based, but I don't know how far along that is. I've not really looked at it. The problem with this is you're not going to be able to upload an entire series. It's not ready for that. It's too slow. It's a bit unwieldy, very clunky. Again, go and read Joel's articles on it. So, right. We've sort of touched on the Topaz products there. MakeMKV. A lot of people might want to use this kind of product. Well, I've got the DVD. I'll just put it in, and MakeMKV will turf out some video files for me. This is my example of it's being processed by something else. You want bare metal. You want the original as core to the file as possible. The further on down the line, the less quality you're going to have to then generate from. And it also changes the file. You want to be able to go down to the individual frames because of the way the pre-HD shows were done in terms of their we need to modify and do. There's a various technical things you need with the deinterlacing, inverse telecine, all that sort of stuff. So you want bare metal if you can get it, which is why I suggest, while Joel has mentioned it here, just in terms of there, it's much easier to just go from there. MKVToolNix, again, you can then get it from, yeah, so this is essentially MKVToolNix. I'll load it up for you so you can see. And is it going to load? Yes, it is. There it is. Again, it's just quite a nice little GUI editor. We can just pull in some files. I use it a lot to load in audio tracks, but also subtitles, and just link them all in. But again, I don't use all of these all the time. You're going to see this is sort of like all of the collection or the suite of software that I utilize. You don't need all of it. Again, just going back to here, Joel has started from just these products here. But for me, at the moment, the process is we take the inputs with DVD decryptor DG index. You then pre-process AVISynth and AvsPMod. We then upscale, which is the video enhanced AI. Then post-process AvsPMod, AVISynth, and then we render out with FFMPEG, which is this here. Again, I will sometimes do quite a bit of work in DaVinci Resolve, simply for the fact that I want to do, I may want some scenes. DaVinci has a really, really good noise reducing algorithm, like that's actually built into the studio version. It's not in the free version, sadly, but sometimes I want to see like that algorithm implemented in. Again, it's every single episode that what you've got to try and understand with these shows. Every single episode is its own little challenge or puzzle, and a lot of it's down to individual taste on how they like it done. But I want to get back to the as original as possible with the further instructions that I'll be doing. So that was a sort of long-winded approach to what I've been doing. So again, in summary, go read all of these articles. They're really excellent. Go have a look at all the software that you need. FFmpeg, AvsPMod. Have a look at how they're installing it. There's a whole host of other things that you get into that. Just obviously, this is huge because obviously AVISynth, and this is deinterlacer. This is its own huge area to get into. You could spend weeks, and I literally have, going down into this. So again, this is just the very surface level of the things you need. You need these two things to get the stuff going. You need AVISynth, AvsPMod. You don't have to have DaVinci. You don't have to have DaVinci at all. Just if you want to go upscale of that. A lot of my instructions when I get to it for the next part will be fairly simple. And, well, starting off simple, going into the detail for people who want that sort of thing. But that is the plan. So this is the video to touch on. So if I see in another video, go watch my video on software. It's this one, which you've already seen or you've skipped to this stage. But yeah, this is version 1 of this video as well. So we're going to be then changing it up as new software comes out, new techniques. I really hope a lot of these shows are redundant and the studio does the right thing. It remasters a lot of its original content and puts it out there at the highest quality. That would be superb. But all of this stuff will be in the video description. If there's anything else I can think of, I will add it in. But yeah, so the next videos are going to be on a rough how do I do this sort of thing, because we're gonna that was my next idea, and then the next part will be a written guide with all the detail that you can then use the video as a when he's talking about section 2, let's just see what he was doing again. Excuse me. Then you can refer to the video. So that was my general idea. It's my general plan. and just trying to squeak it past all of the issues that are. I'm still doing, just in terms of an update now on where I am since my channel went bye-bye. I tried to upload a number of different battle scenes, if you recall, from what was promised, what I did promise. And I tried to upload them all, but it kept just instantly blocking me on all of it. So I must have had like a black mark against my my new sort of account with about 40 people sub to it. So yes, there was a lot of other videos attempted. I might move to, somebody mentioned maybe putting stuff on TikTok or another source for the videos, and I'm still looking at that. I've mainly been focusing, since I hadn't had to produce the videos, improvements to my process. So if anybody was familiar with the content I did upload to YouTube previously, we have improved on that quite dramatically. There's a lot of work going on. I'm doing behind the scenes on color spaces, on noise, grain injection, on a lot of fronts really. Just which parts to be like smart masked and which parts to be sharpened. It would be really, really nice if I could get an AI where I just took a frame and painted a little bit of the frame and said, yeah, ignore everything else, just focus on that part. But there's no AI I'm aware of yet that would do that. There's a couple of really nice AI engines that are potentially coming on where they will handle video as well. If anybody's got any things that I've missed software-wise, like, hey, KrazeyIvan, there's this fantastic thing out there, get on it. By all means, put in the video description. Let me know about it. The more we share knowledge, the better we're going to get. But yeah, so where I'm at now is better than what you saw previously if you're familiar with the previous content. So my time hasn't been wasted. Obviously, I'd love to produce videos and then get everybody they're all HD fixed, and it was really, really damn useful to go through and do the work, because they're obviously putting it on YouTube allowed me to go in and do the work for the episode that I needed. You know, it's a bit boring if you don't do that, so it was really, really helpful, and I got a kick out of everybody really enjoying it. So yeah, I've waffled for far too long. I wanted that to be a quick video, and I've ended up taking ages and an age. So on that note, I will bid you adieu. Check out all the video and the links in the video description. Any questions, put them in the chat at the bottom. I will try and help out as best I can. But this is video 1. This is version 1. We are at the end of 2022, last couple of days. So I hope everyone's had a good Christmas. Hope everyone has a great 2023. And yeah, let's hopefully get all of this done, and let's get people doing really good content and sharing the knowledge. Again, I don't pretend to have all the best answers or any of that. I just all just learn from each other and really like push on, because you know, I can really put a really good version of those shows together. I think be really good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it all. Thank you for everybody who had their nice comments. I posted on my Twitter that was gone. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.